Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm gonna rank everything from 2023. Everything from movies, TV shows, comedy specials, and music albums, and even some video games. I'm gonna be splitting it into 6 separate tiers. Starting from the bruh tier, the I don't fucks with it, meh vibes, I fucks with it, that was good, and finally, the premium gravy tier, reserved for some of the best pieces of media I've ever seen. I'm only going to be ranking things I've seen / listened or played, so not everything will be on the list. And I'm going to be doing it based off my personal enjoyment. So if it's trash, like, bro, even it might be trash, but I might like it. So yeah, let's do this.
I don't know what just happened when I screamed, but I just lost my voice.
Starting off with the bruh tier, it's the Idol. Yeah, I don't think that's much of a surprise. The whole internet's trashed the show enough. I don't got any creative inputs to add. The show's trash, the director's weird. Weekend became 10 times creepier. And yeah, it's just a bad show. And I feel very similar about the next show.
All of you assholes, I hope you all get cancer and die. Scooby-Doo? No, not this time, Scoop.
Velma. Again, there's nothing I can say that hasn't been said. Velma is not funny, it's fucking random, it's just trash, it's badly written, it's just, oh my god, I can't be asked. And I haven't found Minda Kaling funny in anything since The Office, and even then, it's kind of debatable.
I would like to introduce you to Mr. Danny Cordray. He is going to be joining us as our new traveling salesman. Say hello to Danny.
Me.
Okay.
If I was to make up to a song, it would be a song by Jennifer Lopez, but only if I was making love to her.
Next up is Shotgun Wedding. This is just one of those random movies that appears on like Fox movies when you're in the couch and I got nothing to do, which is exactly what happened. It's a random movie. Jennifer Lopez is getting married to this random dude. They ain't really in love, or kinda, or not really, and then the marriage is going to shit. And then a terrorist group appears, and then yeah, they just like hijack the whole thing. And then Lenny Kravitz is the twist villain who works for the terrorist group. It's just one of those movies like you have no expectations for, and it reaches those non-existent expectations. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, the 2023 was really like the defining downgrade of the MCU. Ant-Man and the Wasp definitely confirms this idea. Yeah, if you're gonna introduce your next Thanos, you should do it in the Ant-Man movie. Like, how can I take this bro seriously? It took 90% of the MCU cast to defeat Thanos, and Kang gets outsmarted by the fucking Gilf, and then loses to Ants, man. Not legit just ants, not Ant-Man. Ants beat him.
I am Kang! You talk to ants!
Like, how can I take this seriously, bro? Are you like, if in a 1v1 the dude from Bug's Life is beating Kang? Like, I can't. It was a terrible idea. I didn't care about the daughter and the Paul Rudd thing. I didn't care about the Gilf. She just kept being annoying as fuck, always holding information. And then you had MODOK, which was just kind of peak fiction, to be honest. But oh well. Definitely not a good entry in the MCU.
You guys gotta be fucking quiet, or I'm gonna kick you out of this library.
Next up is probably my biggest disappointment of 2023. All the other movies didn't have any expectation of being good, which is not the same for this movie, Operation Fortune. This is a Guy Ritchie movie. Guy Ritchie is one of my favorite directors. However, he's one of the guys, I just prefer him to stay in his lane. I don't like when he experiments too much. The whole King Arthur thing, Aladdin. But when he does his classic Tarantino-inspired English mob movies, those are always fucking bangers. Lock, Stock, Snatch. And then he had his more modern take on his formula, which was The Gentleman, which is an amazing fucking movie. And I thought this was gonna be in that gentleman lane, you know what I mean? Just a more refined classic Guy Ritchie movie. He had Jason Statham and Hugh Grant. I'm like, okay, surely a blueprint for success. And then it just was meh, bro. Like, the dialogue wasn't funny, the story didn't do anything interesting, the editing was very subpar compared to what I expect from Guy Ritchie. And yeah, I don't know, man. I was really disappointed. And this movie was supposed to come out a year before, but damn, Guy Ritchie got unlucky because he made his villain from Ukraine. Oh my god, that was terrible, terrible timing. So he had to postpone it for a whole year. And then, yeah, it just was not worth the wait. It was not worth the wait at all. Goddamn. Moving on to the I don't fucks with it tier. This is more for, you know, this is that, again, I didn't really like, but wasn't as insufferable to watch as the stuff in the breast section.
It's fine as hell. I had a lot of cartoon characters that used to get me sexually aroused as a kid.
Starting off, we have White Men Can't Jump. Just watch the original with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. It's way better than this one. Yeah, it had Vince Staples, which is, I don't know, random, but cool. And yeah, Jack Harlow was funnier than I thought he would be. This is also surprising, but again, there's nothing else. There's not a standout. There just isn't anything standout about this movie. Go watch the original. It's good.
Bitch, I'm in the field, nigga, call me Indiana Jones. Feel like Soldier Boy today, so kiss me through the phone.
Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. This is one of the Disney movies of 2023, and of course, it got a bunch of hate, deservingly so. It's pretty bad. The first little 15-minute section with Old Indy was pretty cool, pretty classic Indiana Jones. I'm not a very big Indiana Jones fan, but I enjoyed that part. Yeah, and then just like the old grumpy thing they did with Star Wars again. Then the new female Phoebe Waller's performance wasn't that bad for me. I didn't find it as annoying as everyone else, but the writing just wasn't there. You can tell that this was affected by the writer's strike. This was just not it, Chief. The little time travel section, it was kind of fun at the end, but it wasn't. It wasn't it, Chief. It wasn't The Last Crusade. It just wasn't it.
That motherfucker came and smelled my fingers. Smelled just like weed. He said, "Oh, I'm finna tell mama."
Next up is the first music album on the list, Gunna, Gifts and a Curse. This whole album is just extremely forgettable to me. I can't remember a single track on the album, and I listened to it like twice. With the exception of Fuck You Mean. Fuck You Mean is the only reason this shit ain't in the bruh tier, bruh. Like, Fuck You Mean is catchy as fuck. I gotta give it that. Fuck You Mean boosted it up just on that alone. Next up is Physical 100. This is basically like Korean Squid Game, but just with jacked bodybuilders, fucking military dudes, just like real fighter-ass motherfuckers. And they're just doing physical challenges, hence the name. And yeah, this is just not my type of TV, but I don't know, it was still just kind of, it was a fun thing to watch, I guess. It was good background TV. That's what it was. Some motherfuckers were knocking the fuck out of people. Those were kind of enjoyable to watch. Now we are moving on to meh vibes. Yeah, these are ones that weren't really bad, but not good either. Like, I didn't mind watching them, but I could have lived the rest of my life without watching them. You know what I mean?
Mike Jackson, mate. What was that?
Starting off, we have the Rucka Rucka movie, Talk to Me. I was fucking surprised as fuck when they said the Rucka Rucka dudes were gonna make a movie for $824. I'm like, what the fuck? I watched the movie. I didn't find anything special. It wasn't really scary. It was just, it was just meh. The whole hands being a metaphor for drugs was pretty on the fucking nose, but oh well. I was impressed with like some of the cinematography actually. They legit incorporated the Rucka Rucka style from their YouTube videos and they put it into the movie, and those parts I didn't find that bad. Like the cinematography like was a bit unique. And I'm really excited, even though I didn't really enjoy Talk to Me, I'm really excited to see what they do next. I'm really excited.
Very impressive.
The Pink Tape by Lil Uzi. I've never been a Lil Uzi fan, and this definitely didn't change my mind on him. I Just Wanna Rock is a classic. I can't deny that shit.
1600 block. I just wanna rock. I just wanna.
If that shit plays in the club, you'll see me on the dance like, nah, that shit's a banger. That shit's a banger. But nah, man. Like the rest, it's too long. It's too fucking long. The Chop Suey remake song just kind of, what was the point? I really like the original, and Uzi didn't bring anything fresh to the song. He just sang it with a worse voice.
Wake up! Wake up! Run, rush, and put a little makeup. I discuss the fade away, the shake up. I discuss the fade away, the shake up. Why'd you leave the keys up on the table?
It's a me, Mario.
Mario movie by Illumination. It's the Mario movie. It's exactly as good as you think it is. It's just meh. It's good for an Illumination movie. They have Jack Black as Bowser. It's the Mario movie.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking
Chris Rock's Selective Outrage. Now this is the first stand-up special I got here. I really like his older stuff, but I don't know, this one just didn't really do it for me. I didn't really have the biggest expectations for Chris Rock when I watched this show. I was kind of seeing if there was a little Will Smith joke there, and there was, and that part was pretty funny. I didn't really find anything else impressive, but he's Chris Rock, he's a legend, who the fuck cares?
And then that fine ass fish from Shark Tale. But she goes up there with her fine ass.
Next up is Jackman by Jack Harlow. Even though I didn't really like this album that much, it's his best album this far. He's definitely improved, and this album has some good songs. Gang Gang is not a meh song. If I was ranking Gang Gang individually, it would be a few tiers higher. I really like Gang Gang.
Ride for my dogs, lie for my dogs, die for my dog.
You can tell he's evolving as an artist, and I'm hoping he heads in this trajectory instead of Honey the Kids Come Home or whatever the fuck that other one was.
É que quando a gente tivemos já ilhas aqui fora, coisa de 3 ou 4 meses viola da costa.
Okay, Rabo de Peixe. This is a Portuguese show, and me as a Portuguese man, this holds cultural significance. Even though I don't really like the show, it's not that well written. The cinematography is very, very Outer Banks-ish, even in terms of the colors and the acting and the story. But I don't know, this is the biggest Portuguese show in existence by far, so this could lead to new things for Portuguese television, which I'm really excited for. And yeah, that's the main attraction for me by this show. But hey, if you want to watch it, it's based on a true story. A bunch of cocaine landed up on an island in Portugal, and it changed the whole society there. So yeah, go support Portuguese TV.
Biden, I think Biden's the first president you could punch, assassinate.
Now we got Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs. I saw this was like the most watched thing on Netflix that's when it came out, and I was like, oh shit, okay, new stand-up special. I have never heard of this guy, but if he's at the top of Netflix right now, sure, let me give it a watch. And I did, and it was okay. Like, it was cool. It was kind of funny, but I didn't get the hype about it though. But then I saw some podcasts, and I feel like he's way funnier. I feel like his humor is way more suited for podcasts than stand-up. But wait, he seems like a nice guy, Wade. You do you. You do you, Shane. Speaking of the dogs.
W's in the shot. W's in the shot.
We got Drake for All the Dogs. I've never been the biggest Drake fan. I ain't a hater, but you ain't gonna see me put him in like my top 10, you know what I mean? And yeah, For All the Dogs is like middle of the road, maybe even like bottom of the sidewalk when it comes to Drake projects in itself. It's pretty forgettable, too long. Like most mainstream artists nowadays, their hip hop albums are just too fucking long. I like some of the first few songs. I really like Daylight was dope, Fear Heights, and the highlight track of the album was obviously First Person Shooter. And even then, Drake wasn't exactly the highlight of the highlight track. And then don't even get me started on the Sexy Red song. And then Slime. Like, I'm not a SZA fan, but I know SZA fans are diehard fans. I did not hear anyone talk about Slime on You or whatever, and that was the lead single. And damn, no one cared. Not even the SZA fans cared. Like, bro, how you fumbled that?
Embarrassing.
Oh my god. But oh well. I think this shows that Drake's friend at the top is like kind of falling soon. I don't think Drake's gonna be the main hip-hop guy for much longer, which is good. We need the genre to evolve a bit. Drake's been the #1 guy for like 10 years, bro. It's too much. Let the young ones have a chance, man. Let JID take over.
I wanna kill my mom. I wanna kill my dad.
Alright, now we got the first anime on the list, Hell's Paradise. This is one of those examples where if I'm looking at it objectively, it should probably be higher on Meth vibes. It's very well written, the characters are pretty developed and very interesting, but it wasn't entertaining to me. The animation was kind of subpar. The story didn't really grab me that much. I didn't find the villains very engaging. If I look at it through an objective view, it's better than what I'm ranking it as, but I just personally didn't enjoy it that much. Now to cap off meh vibes, we got Only Murders in the Building Season 3. Yeah, this is, for me, by far the worst season out of the 3. I didn't find it as funny. The mystery was way more predictable than the last 2 seasons. I was shocked. But the cast on this bitch was fucking star-studded. You can tell Steve Martin, Martin Jordan, Selena Gomez called in some favors for this season. They got Paul Rudd, Meryl Streep, the chick from Beef. Like, damn, they got a big-ass cast. But I don't know, it still didn't stood out even with that. The romantic relationships from the main cast this season were probably the worst ones, where in the first 2 seasons they were actually really interesting. But hoping season 4 is good. Now we're going to be heading into the I fucks with it tier. From here on, I'm going to be talking about things that I actually find pretty enjoyable. And I'm probably going to start speeding things up a little bit.
While I'm waiting for your fucking response, are you just not going to say anything, dumbass?
Once Upon a Studio. It's a cute little Disney short, probably the best thing Disney has done in 2023. And yeah, it was something wholesome, man. Seeing characters that I haven't seen in a long while. They really put everyone in there. They even put Bambi. You know, I love Bambi. But yeah, that's my takeaway. I love Bambi.
I'm not here to be your fucking friend. Don't laugh like you're my friend, okay? I would fucking knock your teeth out of your dumb fucking English skull.
You People, a Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy movie. It's just a little classic 2000s type comedy. You know, it's always nice to see Eddie Murphy appearing in more roles nowadays since his resurgence. It was a cozy movie. It was a cozy movie.
A bit dizzy, man. Yeah, I got like some hench guy was like, get on my way, bro. Get on my way. And I was like,
Space Heavy by King Cruel. It's the first King Cruel album I've ever listened to, and yeah, I don't think it's not bad. I just don't think it's my thing. Cause I know people really love King Cruel. I love the production on this album, but as soon as this dude starts singing, his fucking voice, bro, it's not for me. It just does not fit the production, which is really good. Except for Seaforth. Seaforth is really, really fucking good. I really fucked with that song.
Hi, I'm Julia Roberts. You know, a lot of people died in the tsunami, but don't worry, I didn't.
Leave the World Behind. I think this was a Netflix original starring Julia Roberts. Mahershala Ali. I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry. And Ethan Hawke. Yeah, so damn, these are pretty good actors. I watched the movie and it was interesting. I liked it. I thought it was heading in a different direction. When the finale actually happened, I was not expecting it to be the finale. It was an enjoyable social critique movie about humanity type thing. I liked it. Go give it a watch. It deserves it. Desire I Want to Turn Into You by Caroline Polachek. Yeah, I know everyone is really fucking with this album. I'm not exactly in that camp. I mean, it's good. I recognize it's good. I just didn't really like it that much. I really like the intro track. I forgot the name of it, but that intro track, she be hitting them high notes, bro. She be hitting them high notes clean, pretty clean. I ain't gonna lie.
Alright, let's talk to somebody who spent Valentine's Day alone.
Matt Rife, Natural Selection. Yeah, Matt Rife, very probably the biggest new age comedian from these last couple of years. And this is his first Netflix special, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I was really curious because he's most famous for his crowd work and that type of environment. So I was wondering if he was gonna hold his own in a Netflix stand-up situation. And he did hold his own. It wasn't bad. I liked it. It wasn't bad. But at the same time, you could tell he couldn't use his best weapon in his arsenal, which was his crowd work. But you know what? I'm pretty sure he held his own for his first Netflix special, and this is clearly the birth of probably the next biggest star in comedy. Tears of the Kingdom. See, I'm not a gamer, bro. Like, especially single player games. I'm more of an Among Us player. You know what I mean? Among Us, Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. You know, the people game. FIFA. I play people games. I don't really play single player games that much. So I know Tears of the Kingdom is like goated for everyone, and I did enjoy playing it. I don't really like playing single player games, but I enjoyed this one. It was cool. You could build shit. It was like Minecraft and Zelda. I liked it.
Hey, very bad. Very, very bad.
Sexual Education Season 4. Again, man, some of my TV shows have been putting out the worst seasons in their whole fucking career. And yeah, like, I liked some parts of it. I did not like any of the new characters. And the old characters, I feel like barely interacted. I don't know. I'm an Otis X Ruby supporter, which didn't happen, but oh well. Otis was fucking annoying this season, and oh, the female fucking asexual Otis didn't do it for me either. I don't know where Jakob and Ola went. Clearly something happened for them not to be back in the show. Yeah, the best episode was the funeral one, by far. It was really good, it was really emotional, and it brought all the OG cast together, which I felt like that was the only fucking time. Adam was out there doing horse racing the entire time and barely spoke to anyone else. It was just a funeral episode. All in all, still really like Sex Ed, but this one just didn't feel like a final season, you know?
It's time to go. It's time to go.
What?
Lethal Company. I've made some videos about it. Y'all can go watch it if you want. It's funny. Again, I like the people games, and Lethal Company is definitely a people game. It's pretty funny. Yeah, go check the videos out if you want to see how funny it is.
If you think you're getting the kids, you're f***ing crazy. Middle-aged mutant ninja turtles.
TMNT. This was an enjoyable, cool movie. It was a star-studded cast. The Spider-Verse comic-inspired style definitely fit TMNT. And wait, the child voice actors were funny. They were saying shit like sus and dialogue that should be cringe by Hollywood standards, but like, nah, they made it work. They had a JoJo hoodie. Y'all think I wouldn't see that? They had a JoJo hoodie in the movie. I'm like, nah, respect.
Tim! Did you hear One Direction is breaking up? What? She just told me. Hold the phone.
Kevin Hart reality check. This one was just a standard Kevin Hart special. He's had way funnier ones, but yeah, he was Kevin Hart. He's the biggest comedian in the game. He had some funny lines. He had some funny jokes. The LeBron joke was fucking hilarious.
Because I was the one counting the hairs on top of his fucking head. One.
If you woke up, make some motherfucking noise right now.
Keitra Amine and Keitra Nada collab album. I was expecting a fucking classic with this one. Maybe I was overhyping it a bit, but I was expecting premium gravy content here, and I just didn't get that. I heard Forever, the single, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a good sign. But then Forever just ended up being, honestly, my favorite track of the album, and the rest of the album didn't really live up to the hype. And I had just gotten into Keitra Nada recently with Bubba, so I was really expecting some good shit, but it's not what I got. But I still liked it. Utopia by Travis Scott. It's not as good as Astroworld, but has some bangers. Meltdown is really good. My Eyes is really good. At the same time, I do think it's slightly overrated. People putting it as the best hip-hop album of the year, like, for real, bro, for real. When we get to the premium gravy, you'll see what I think is the best hip-hop album of the year, but yeah. It was Travis' take on a more experimental album, and yeah, you know what, hip-hop needed that. At least it did that, Travis, at least you did that. Billy Woods Maps. This is a very Caroline Polachek situation again, because I know people really fuck with Billy Woods Maps. I never listened to a Billy Woods album, but I always heard it was really good. And again, I can tell this album is really good. It didn't click. I only listened to it once in my defense, and it didn't click with me. Except for FaceTime. FaceTime is a fucking banger song. That beat is amazing, and he just goes off. His bars are on point. His lyricism is crazy. I don't know, just the sounds. It didn't captivate me like that. I need to give it a second listen, and maybe I'll change my mind on it.
Because they see No Name, and then people would be like, wait, who's the guest?
No Name Sundial. Another slight disappointment. No Name is my favorite female rap artist, and probably one of my favorite female artists in general. Room 25 is amazing. If y'all listen to this, go listen to Room 25. I liked Sundial, of course I liked it. It had some really nice tracks. No Name just had that smooth spoken word flow as she normally does. I don't know, I guess compared to Room 25, I just feel like it's a little bit of a step down. But she still killed it. It was still a really good album.
I see you got the extra whipped cream in there, huh?
Yeah.
Yummers.
Gen V, the Boys prequel show, I was not expecting it to be this good. But then I started seeing posters everywhere here in Lisbon, bro. Like Gen V posters everywhere. I'm like, I'll give it a watch. And then I did, and yeah, dude, I was impressed. It was really good. The characters were really entertaining. The blood bitch, the way they integrated some of the characters from the Boys into the show, with Soldier Boy in the dream section. When the fucking exploding head chick appeared, I was like, nah. And then yeah, of course, the ending, which is supposedly gonna tie to the Boys season 4. So yeah, we gotta see how that turns out. But yeah, I like Gen V.
What do you think of that, Mr. Pajama wearing, basket face, slipper wielding, Clyde Street Buckle?
Unicorns Warrior Eternal. This is made by Genndy Tartakovsky. I don't know how to say his last name, but he's a fucking legend. His track record be crazy. Fucking Dexter's Lab, Star Wars Clone Wars, Samurai Jack, and then Primal, which is probably one of the best animated shows in America. So yeah, I had some built-up hype for this show, and it kind of reached it. Again, damn, I'm just realizing this section is just a lot for things I like, but I was expecting more of, which does fit for this show. I was expecting more. I feel like it had 2 less episodes for the ambition that Genndy wanted, but I liked it. It had that rubber house visual, distinct style. It had a cool story. The villain could have been better, but yeah, I liked it. It was a fun ride. It just wasn't Samurai Jack level, and definitely wasn't Primal level. I'm hyped up for Primal season 3. Please make it a little bit better than this. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
Hey, you're a nerd, but secretly not. Hey, you're hot and rich. Do you want to come to my mansion? Okay.
Saltburn. I had never heard of this movie until like 3 weeks ago. Someone told me to go check it out, and they said just go in blind. I'm like, alright, I'll go in blind. They hyped me up a bit. I thought it was gonna be weirder than it was, but it was still kind of weird. And for the first half of the movie, I had no expectations of what was gonna happen. I was completely lost during the first half. I did not know where the story was gonna go. The second half, there were some parts that were a bit more predictable, but still, there were a few surprises that I wasn't gonna catch. And then yeah, you had the infamous ending scene, which Joe Coy expertly used in his high-level comedy.
Where's Barry Keoghan seated? Where's your penis seated?
Howdy, y'all cowboys. My name is Ted Lasso, and I'm from Kansas. Wow.
Ted Lasso season 3. This was originally higher. This was actually in the that was good tier, but over time, I realized that again, this was a bit of a downgrade compared to the other seasons. I don't know, some of the characters just, you could see they didn't really have much to do, especially Keely. Ted just be sipping tea all day and a bit more depressed than usual. He didn't really get too many development moments compared to the first 2 seasons. Where the fuck did the psychology bitch go? What the fuck was that? The whole Rebecca romantic thing was kind of sudden. The best part of the season was Roy Kent and Jamie. Those two were pretty fucking funny. And then yeah, they probably carried it this season for me. But it wasn't a bad ending. It didn't leave like a bad taste on my mouth. And like Sex said, they wrapped it up with a bow. It just wasn't really well wrapped. You know what I mean? Okay, we're in the big leagues now. That was good tier. This is for the stuff that I really fucking like. It's just not, it didn't reach that premium gravy all-time status. But I still really fucking like these things.
Testing. Testes.
This Is Why by Paramore. Yeah, this was just a really fucking catchy soft rock album. Had some real bangers. Running Out of Time, This Is Why. I had heard of Paramore, but I had never listened to an album of theirs before. And yeah, this one definitely made me interested in checking out their older stuff.
Let me get a number 5, a cheeseburger with some fries. Let me get an apple pie and a beverage on the side.
Back-to-back albums, we got And They Pray For Me by West Side Gun. Yeah, really fucking like this album. His West Side gets me going crazy. That's where he's done like 5 projects a year for the last 10 years. Him and the Griselda guy, they're just carrying their lanes, you know? And yeah, West Side's production here is crazy. The features he got here is crazy. I can't really name you that many favorites because I just generally enjoyed most of the album. It's a non-skippable album for me.
You just want to say, fuck you. Oh, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you. Fuck
you. They cloned Tyrone. This was an unexpected surprise. It was just a quiet Netflix release. It was just one of those movies I decided to watch on Netflix. I'm like, sure, why not? It has Jamie Foxx. And yeah, that movie surprised the hell out of me. It was funny, it was deep, it was well written, the cinematography was pretty creative, and the story just went into unexpected directions, but it still had a lighthearted tone, an original story as well. Yeah, this movie was like a complete package. It just had a little bit for everyone. I was really surprised by this movie, honestly. Y'all should definitely go watch it.
You, my precious little bitch boy.
Stop it, sir.
Tripping balls.
Hell of a Boss, the best YouTube TV show out there. This show kind of just keeps defying logic. It just keeps getting better. The animation keeps getting better. I don't know how how they'd be producing it. How much do they get paid? I don't know if they got any backing or not. But damn, these episodes be beautiful. The jokes be hitting. And not gonna lie, Hell of a Boss is probably the best American cartoon out right now. It's probably better than everything else.
Don't teach Chelsea that girly crap. This isn't the Dark Ages. Here.
Oh, and a fashion doll with big watermelon boobs teaches the right lessons, huh?
Barbie, the lesser half of the Oppenheimer duo. And yes, I've seen the other one. So yeah, spoiler, it's gonna be a bit higher. In the end of the day, Barbie still managed to surprise me. Greta Gerwig's track record be going crazy with this movie as well. This whole Barbenheimer situation, like, it felt like every single actor in Hollywood was in one of these two fucking movies. And yeah, Barbie was just stacked. It was a big budget classic comedy movie with a unique twist. And the performances delivered. Ryan Gosling was pretty fucking hilarious. And then you had Will Ferrell. You had like 3 of the Sex Ed cast members there giving that Sex Ed representation. I fucks with it. And then yeah, it was just stacked. It was just stacked with comedy and comedy actors. I wasn't expecting it to be like that. They're also creative with the visuals, making practical sets and doing the whole Barbie world logic thing. It was cool. I liked it. Barbie movie gets a thumbs up. Scaring the Host. The collab album between JPEG and Danny Brown was as chaotic as you'd expect. And yeah, the production, I don't know if Peggy made all of it by himself, but the production was crazy. The way they were rapping over it was crazy. That's what I was expecting. It's a crazy album, and that's what I got. But the best song was Jack Harlow Combo Mule. The concept of the song is hilarious, and that the way they rap over that piano be like, damn.
I done brushed up with a big bounce on that hoe like Sarah Nara. Everything about was wrong. Got big pockets like a fat man car.
I own the rights to all this nigga shit, so he ain't going nowhere. Let's go shoot this video.
Boss, we only talk about real shit when we're fucked up. This is the last thing that I heard for this review, and it was one of my biggest surprises. I never gave a fuck about Boss like that. In the Dreamville label, he was always like one of the lower weights, especially with Jid and Earth Gang there. But damn, someone put me onto this. And bro, I couldn't believe it. There really isn't that. I can't really name you a bad track on this album. He has some bangers here. The J. Cole songs are all really good, especially Passport Bros. Chopper was good. Yeah, I was really surprised. The dude didn't even sound like Boz here. I couldn't believe it. I was like, damn, this album's really fucking good. I can't believe I'm saying this, but damn, Dreamville really be outshining TDE in these last 2 or 3 years. I would have never guessed that.
Can we get much higher? So high.
One Piece live action. This one holds a special place in my heart. One Piece is my favorite story of all time, and when the live action was announced, at first I was a hater. When I saw some interviews from Matt Owens, the director, I'm like, okay, I got faith. And so I was following for like a good year, and half a year before I was just full faith. I was like, damn, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be good, this is gonna be fucking Lord of the Rings level Game of Thrones shit. And then it dropped, and while it wasn't like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones as I was hyping it up to be, it was a good 7 out of 10. It broke the anime live action curse, and it beat my expectations because I was not expecting that shit to be the #1 Netflix TV show for like 3 fucking weeks. I was like, damn, I could not believe it was a hit. People would just start talking about One Piece, and I wouldn't even bring it up. I was like, damn, One Piece really became this big in 2023, huh? It was a good feeling. It was a good feeling.
Hunger Games, I win it all. I wanna win all day.
Hunger Games, Ballad of Songbirds. This was definitely the biggest surprise of 2023 for me, because I've never seen any of the Hunger Games movies. And my little sister was like, alright, let's watch this one. It's a prequel. So I was like, alright. And I was watching it, and then when the movie finished, I was like, bro, why is this like one of my fucking favorite movies I've seen this year? It made no sense, and I normally don't like these type of movies. But yeah, I don't know, I really fucking enjoyed it. And I know a lot of people find it kind of mid, and first of all, I don't really get it that much, but the thing that was different for me, I didn't know this dude was supposed to be a villain, bro. I had no clue. I thought it was a good guy in the movies. I didn't know. I just knew he was an old dude in the movies. That's all I knew. I thought it was a good guy. I was not expecting him to be the villain. So like when the third act arrived, they're like, damn, this dude is getting fucking traumatized and traumatized and traumatized. Yeah, like some of the writing, some of the lines here. Oh my god. When the girl was running and then the footsteps disappeared, just like how it was said in the song that she wrote. When I thought he was hallucinating her voice, but then it was just the birds. They used the world building really well for emotional scenes. And then yeah, one of the last lines where her sister in the beginning of the movie was like,
Corio, I know you want to be like your father, that in his eyes, it was just a hint.
And then the end of the movie, the dude asks, Ayo sis, how do I look? And she says,
I think you look just like your father, Coriolanus.
I'm like, damn, that shit was fire, bro. People hating on this movie, it's good. It's really fucking good.
Beef rap.
Beef. We got the Asian representation on the list. Beef's a really good show. Cinematography elite, writing elite, acting elite. Steven Yeun is really starting to become one of my favorite actors, and I was not expecting the Ali Wong performance to be that good, because I only seen her stand up, and I thought it was kind of funny. But damn, she was really, really fucking good in this. She really surprised me. That last episode where they just finally have a heart to heart, I was like, damn, that shit got pretty deep, and I liked it. It was a really good show. Surprised. I was surprised. I wonder if they're gonna do a season 2 or not. Andre 3000's New Blue Sun. Yeah, this one was more of a surreal experience. Andre is my favorite artist of all time, but he's never released an album after I was born, especially not a solo one. And I had already assumed that I'm probably never gonna hear a new Andre album until I die. And then this got announced. I was like, damn, I was not expecting this. Okay. And then they say it's a flute album, and I'm like, let him cook. I listened to it. It was a pretty surreal experience I had with it, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna hit that premium gravy tier, because whilst it was really good, it was more of like a one-time thing for me. I don't see myself going back to it, but it was a very pleasant surprise to get to hear an Andre 3000 album, which I never thought I would have gotten in my life.
Mikasa, I've always hated you.
Aaron! Give me the damn nuggets!
End off the that was good section. We got the final episodes / movies of Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is clearly a classic. It was the main anime of its generation. I really didn't get it because so many people who read the manga were like, the ending's trash, it's trash. And then the ending finally happened. It wasn't the greatest, but it was good. It was a good ending. And I was like, nah, what did they change? Like, surely, what did they change? And they were like, they only changed like some lines of dialogue and shit like that. I was like, damn, bro, I felt so bad for the author. He's getting so much fucking hate, bro. Like it or not, Attack on Titan is legit one of the best, not anime, just one of the best TV shows ever made in general. If you haven't watched it, just start watching it. It went from being extremely overhyped to being extremely underhyped. I feel like it deserves to be overhyped at this point. Go give it a watch. We are now heading into the final section of the video, the premium gravy tier. This is for the stuff that is not just best of the year, but like some of the best fucking shit I've ever experienced. So yeah, let's do this.
Music computers and robbers and looters with shooters and shooters with brokers and shooters with Ruger CDs with my tutors and my tutors taught me.
First off is the best rap album of 2023. Killer Mike, Michael. I had never listened to like a solo Killer Mike album. He's had like some dope features with Outkast, some with Royce, and I've listened to a few Run the Jewels albums, which are really good. So I always liked Killer Mike, but I've never listened to a solo album. Then I listened to this, and I'm like, fuck, this shit is good. He had some high-pass songs, Talk Shit or Talk That Shit. Then you had some more groovy tracks like Exit 8 and some more introspective ones like High and Holy. And that Andre 3000 song with Future, Scientists and Engineers. Ooh, that Andre verse was just fucking good. Not gonna lie, after the Flute album, it was good to at least get a rap verse from Andre this year. The Grammys happened a few days ago, and I could not believe it, bro. I could not believe that this dude beat Travis. Oh my god, I did not expect. I thought Travis was gonna take the dub, and I would have not been mad at it. It's the most impactful mainstream hip hop album this year. But damn, Michael took it. Michael took Best Rap Song, Performance, and Best Rap Album. And then he got arrested. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, Best Rap Album of 2023. I fucks with it. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I really fucked with the OG movie. It's really funny and creative, and Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors in general. And unlike Guy Ritchie, one of my favorite English directors didn't disappoint me this year, because he decided to make a fucking anime. I'm like, what? They made Scott Pilgrim an anime, and it's being animated by the same dudes who made Devilman Crybaby. Like, what the fuck? What is happening? What is happening here? I'm like, okay, that's cool, but it's not like they're gonna get the entire OG cast. They're too big right now. But then they got him. Like, that's crazy. Like, this isn't 2010 anymore. This isn't just Chris Evans and Michael Cera. You are getting Evan, Captain America, Roman Roy, Harper Spiller, Captain Marvel, The Spot, and Becca. But it's still, that's probably one of the shows with the most star-studded cast this year. So yeah, I didn't expect it to happen. I didn't expect this to happen, but once it got announced, I expected it to be good. And good it was. It had a very unique animation style with the whole video game aesthetics. It was really fucking funny. This story really suited the animation medium. It was an original story. It was very different from the movie, and what I hear, I haven't read the comics, but I've heard it's different from that too. The show is called Scott Pilgrim. Scott disappears after the first episode, and then the show just develops their side cast and makes me a lot more invested in the side characters than I ever was in the movie. And it had some amazing fight scenes, like, damn, the Lucas Lee versus the paparazzi, the lesbian fight, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It was amazing. The show was really fucking good. It was a great TV show from one of my favorite directors, and it would have been my favorite anime if only it wasn't for Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 is the best anime of the year. It evolved from the first season in every single fucking way. From the animation, the voice acting, and the story, the sound design, the art style, it all changed for the better. I read the manga, but I really wish I didn't, because damn, I really wish I went into this blind. It was really fucking good. At this point, JJK is competing with Naruto for having, on average, the best fights ever. I can name 5 that are the best of the year. Toji versus anyone, the Squid Guy fight, Sukuna versus Gojo, Yuji versus the Blood Dudes, Yuji and Todo versus Mahiro, the Nanami fights, and Sukuna versus the Cursed Spirit Dude, which was just the most insane fight that I've seen all year. Getting rid of Gojo is just a really smart move, because then it actually gives stakes towards the whole story. You take out the most powerful character in existence who happens to be the good guy. Shit ends up getting a little bit tougher, so yeah, it was really smart of them. Although I think this will be the peak of JJK, I think they used their time in the spotlight wisely and escaped the chance of it just being remembered as a formulaic show with good animation, and they ended up cementing themselves as a legendary anime. Oppenheimer, the best half of the Barbenheimer duo. This movie was just a phenomenon. It's one of Nolan's most polished and least commercial type movies he's made, and it somehow became one of his biggest successes. Everyone was talking about Oppenheimer and Barbie, of course, and I really hadn't seen a phenomenon like this since Endgame, where everyone was like, oh, I have to see this movie in the cinemas. It was just something really fucking dope. This movie's probably gonna sweep the Oscars. Elite direction, performances, writing, editing, sound design, soundtrack. This movie just kind of had it all. It was clearly made to see in the cinema with those big screens and the fucking the explosion in IMAX 4K. That shit hit different. I happen to be one of the guys who watched it in Giga Chad form, but oh well, it is what it is. It was still really good. This was Nolan perfecting his style. And I feel like this movie made a lot of casual audiences put Nolan up there with some of the greatest directors ever. Only Nolan with his big ass name could have made this shit. And it gives me hope for the change that might happen to the type of blockbuster movies that are made from now on. I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see what happens next.
Adventure time! Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands. We'll take the dog and...
Fiona and Cake, the Adventure Time sequel. I'm an Adventure Time fan. I really think it's one of the most underrated stories out there. But going into this, I didn't have exactly the biggest expectations. But then I watched it, and it was an original story, a really creative use of the multiverse. The normal world parts were as entertaining as the fantasy aspect, which is just proof of good writing and good characters. The use of the Adventure Time cast, I felt like was really well done. They used few characters as more reoccurring, like Simon and Prismo, developing them even more, especially Simon. But then they used other characters, like Finn only appeared for one scene. Like that was really, I thought that was smart. Farmville Finn was a really great addition in one of the episodes. An alternate universe of Finn's dad met an alternate universe of baby Finn, and they didn't know each other, but they bonded. Like, oh, that was cool. Then the Lich scene was also well done. They didn't use the Lich as an overarching villain for once, which was a breath of fresh air, even though he's a really good villain. They used a lot of the character from the Adventure Time lore very well. With this show, they were able to explore more adult themes, especially through Fiona's and Simon's existential crisis, and also the relationship between Simon and Betty, which got way more developed, which is really nice to see. I feel like this show just proves that they can do anything with Adventure Time. This was a really great show, and it makes me really excited for the future of the Adventure Time universe.
On Cracker Island it was born, to the collective of the dawn.
Cracker Island by Gorillaz. Yeah, this is my favorite band of all time. Gorillaz is really fucking good. And Song Machine was a great album, but I feel like this was better. I heard the single first. That riff and the Thundercat feature, that song was so fucking good. It was one of my favorite songs from Gorillaz I'd heard in a while. And I was like, shit, this is a really good single. And then they just followed up with other great songs in the album. New Gold, Silent Running. And compared to other albums, I feel like most of the features in this album were better integrated than, for example, on Song Machine, even though it was really good as well. I really like the features on here with Tame Impala, Thundercat, and the others. They all had really great performances, and they just made the tracks more complete. You have the story of how easily society can be influenced by various factors. All in all, I feel like this was a great addition to the discography of my favorite band of all fucking time. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is the best MCU movie since Endgame. And somehow, it's my favorite of the trilogy, and I love the first two Guardians movies. The soundtrack is as good, if not better than the first. The jokes hits, the jokes are funny, they had cool and creative visuals. It had the best action scene in the whole MCU. That corridor fight scene, that was by far the best action scene I've seen in the MCU. Then they gave Rocket a tragic anime backstory with one of the saddest scenes in the history of the franchise as well. The villain's better than Kang. The dude's better than Kang. The Evolutionary should have been the blueprint for the next overarching villain for the MCU, because he was better than Kang. I was scared of that dude, bro. Like, Kang can get beaten by ants, but anyone fucking with this dude, like, damn, he was a really good villain, and he was just pure evil. Not much complexity, no deep motivation, but bro, sometimes you don't have to. Sometimes you don't need that for a good villain. Look at Scar. But yeah, James Gunn cooked with not just this movie, but the whole franchise in general. He also made the good Suicide Squad, and now he's gonna be the leader of the whole DC cinematic universe. I feel like in a couple of years, the same way we associate mafia movies with Scorsese, action blockbusters with Michael Bay, Judd Apatow with the improv comedies, I feel like we're gonna look at James Gunn as the superhero movie guy. I feel like that's gonna be him, and I feel like that's what he wants to be. Jesse Ware, That Feels Good. I discovered this album purely just in a random Fantano video. He was like, this was a good dance album for 2023. Y'all should go check it out. And I was like, sure. And then he was completely fucking right. This was just a whole dance pop album full of groovy fucking tracks. When I first heard this album, for like the next weeks, every time I went to uni, I had this album on replay to get me a little groovy after I leave the house. With tracks like That Feels Good, Freak Me Now, Free Yourself, Hello. It was a really, really solid performance. It's not the greatest on a technical level, but it just personally, it just made me move. It just made me fucking move.
I said, okay, my infatuation it translating to another form of what you call it. Oh yeah.
Tyler, the Creator, The Estate Sale. While I did say that Killer Mike's was my best rap album of the year, this was technically just a deluxe, so it don't count, come on. But yeah, this little deluxe edition, I think it added like 5 or 6 songs to Call Me If You Get Lost, and it has some of his greatest songs ever. Sorry is one of his greatest accomplishments in his career. It's a really good fucking song. You had Stuntman, which is just a really fucking fun track with Vince Staples. Really 2000s style. I really enjoyed that one. Then you had more introspective tracks like Heaven to Me with the Kanye beat and What a Day with the Madlib beats. Like, he fucking killed those 2 tracks. And we finally had the fucking Wang Sap collaboration, which I wanted for in a while. We got Wharf Talk, which they didn't both rap over it, but still, whenever those 2 hop on a track together, they make gold. They're probably my favorite hip hop duo of all fucking time, and I'm begging for that Wang Sap album, even though we're probably never gonna get it. But yeah, I feel like this just helps cement Tyler as a GOAT at this point. I feel like he should be talked about in the same breath as Kendrick, and I feel like he just doesn't. But he deserves, just like Kendrick, to be talked in the same circles as the Kanyes, the Biggies, the Nas, the Jay-Z's, the Eminems. I feel like he's more than earned it, and I feel like he deserves to be in those conversations more than J. Cole. Sorry, bro. Like, Tyler's one of the hip-hop artists who's impacted the sound of rap the most this decade. It's just true. People gotta start recognizing it. Volcano by Jungle. Okay, I lied about Hunger Games because that wasn't the biggest surprise of 2023. This shit was. Someone put me onto this. I had never heard of Jungle before, and when I listened to it, it ended up being one of the most groovy albums I've ever listened to in my fucking life. The eerie samples, the groovy production. I always kept switching my favorite tracks from Back on 74, Dominoes, Don't Play, Palm Trees, and the others are really good as well. But then what really elevated me were the videos. Videos are so fucking good, with the color palettes, the visuals, the choreography. When they're just dancing on beat, that shit is fucking fire. The videos are really fucking good, and they tell a cohesive narrative throughout. Supposedly Jungle is coming to Lisbon to perform live during the summer, and I'm definitely gonna try and check him out for sure. And yeah, this was a surprise because this is my favorite album of the year, and Jungle has quickly become one of my new favorites. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is a masterpiece. To me, it evolves from the first one in every single way, and is by far my favorite film of 2023. Visually, it's the best looking American animated movie I have ever seen. The villains are more compelling, with Spot and Miguel being a good step up from Kingpin. The side characters are more developed and entertaining to me, with Hobie, who's played by Daniel Kaluuya, and Pav, who's played by Stuber. The voice acting in this movie was just fascinating. Gwen also got a lot more development, made me like her a lot more than the first movie. It had one of the best soundtracks of the year with bangers like Link Up, Am I Dreamin', the Miguel score, the Gwen score. Metro Boomin cooked on this one, maybe even more than the first, which is saying something. And again, I hadn't felt this energy in the cinema since Endgame. It was just, I had so much fucking fun watching this movie. In the first 15 minutes, I'm already thinking, damn, I think I'm gonna like this more than the first one. And I wasn't wrong. I didn't mind the ending. I know a bunch of people were upset with the whole cliffhanger shit. I really didn't mind. That's just got me more hyped for the next movie. This is clearly cinema history in the making. This must be what like people watching Toy Story must feel like. That just changed the whole landscape, new animation style, and an elevated level of writing. This really gives me like the Toy Story vibes, but for our generation. This shit is literally changing the medium of animation. You can tell how other movies and franchises are getting influenced by it. If the third movie sticks the landing, I am ready to call it my favorite trilogy of all time. Not animated trilogy, my favorite trilogy of all fucking time. However, there was one thing this year that I thought was even better. Succession Season 4 was a fantastic closer for probably the best show on TV. It managed to be its best season somehow, and I really couldn't believe it. Spoiler warning, killing Logan in the middle, not even in the beginning to set the tone or a finale to give an impactful ending. They just killed him in the middle of the show, which gave a twist to the second half of the final season that I don't feel like anyone was expecting, really. And he died on one of the best episodes in the not just the season, but in the show, the boat episode. And this season was just full of top tier Succession episodes. The funeral episode was amazing. The episode where they're counting the votes. And the final episode was amazing. The Shiv and Tom fight was brutal to see. And Tom, the fact that Tom Wamsgams, he was the winner after all of this being the biggest punching bag of the whole show. He was the one who came out on top. I would have never guessed that in a million years. I would have said Greg would have been the winner before Tom, legit. The thing about this show that stands out is not just the cinematography or the story, but it by far has the best acting out of any TV show I've ever seen.
You offered to go to jail, Tom. You offered because you're servile. You're servile.
You are incapable of thinking about anybody other than yourself because your sense of who you are, Shiv, is that fucking thing.
Yeah, you read that in the book, Tom?
You're too fucking transparent to find in a book.
Is he in there?
Yeah.
Get him out. What? It's fucking nuts. It doesn't even make any sense. I'm the eldest boy. I am the eldest boy.
You're not.
And you know, it mattered to him. He wanted this to go on. You're playing toy fucking soldiers. Go on. Fuck off. I have you beat. You morons.
Well, no, because you need a supermajority in the holding company.
Because I mean the supermajority.
Is she still on?
There's a reason that every time the Emmys show up, all the acting nominations, half of them are filled with Succession's cast members. It's very clear to see why. They really fucking deserve it. And the finale, I thought it was gonna be happy. All the siblings were finally in agreements. They were having fun, childish shit. Then I looked at the runtime and I was like, oh shit, there's still half an hour for the episode to end. This shit ain't gonna go well. And it did not fucking go well. It was a tragic ending for a show that's oftenly described as a Greek tragedy in modern times. And it was just a perfect finale for as close to a perfect show as one can get. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. It was a different format. I wanted to try something different in the channel just to like see if y'all like it or not. And if y'all do, y'all can prove that by liking, subscribing, leaving a comment on the video and sharing it with people. So yeah, see y'all in the next vid. Chai Chen.